Hello YouTube friends and subscribers. Now what we've got here is a gutter that is not working effectively, allowing water to drip down onto the lady's step, and which is then bouncing up and coming under the entrance door. That's what we're going to try and put right today. So as you can see, the step to this accommodation, in my opinion, is rather too high. So any rainwater or dripping that's coming from the gutter or the roof is basically bouncing up against the door. The door threshold hasn't got a water bar in it, so that's causing a problem. I think ideally if the step were lower, that problem would solve itself. But what I'm going to do is just have a look at the gutter and see what is going on up here. This stuff is sort of felt shingles, as you can see, and the shingle is overhanging there, I would say, by 1/4 of an inch, maybe 10 mil something, which in my opinion is insufficient overhang. The gutter could be higher. So what I'm going to do is remove this leaf guard stuff, which may or may not be working, and then we'll see what we've got. Okay, well, I've extracted the leaf guard stuff, and how anybody's expecting this gutter to be effective with a lip like that, it's barely 1/4 of an inch at this end and a 6-inch drop into the gutter, ridiculous. That is the worst bit of gutter work I have ever seen. Right, so what I think we're going to do is, there's room underneath here that will lift. I think what we might like to consider is providing some kind of further drip. I don't know if we can get some more of this stuff and cut it down, or whether there's thin sheet metal stuff we can get, but we need to bring this lip forwards. Obviously it's not forming any kind of proper drip. And then I would anticipate moving the gutter brackets up and get this gutter closer to the edge of the roof. Right, that's the gutter off. The thing I don't quite understand is, this is obviously some part of the roofing experience. It seems to me that the rafters have been cut too short, and there's room here for what we would call a fascia board, or a board that goes across the end of the rafters the whole length of the building, and that would make that sit straighter, and then the gutter could fix properly onto a vertical surface. In order to screw the gutter bolts successfully at a higher position, not hanging down here somewhere ridiculously, we need to provide some kind of backing material behind this flexible plasticky type stuff. Now we could go for a full length fascia board, or just get a piece of something 2-inch by 1/2 inch, 50 by 15, 50 by 15, and plant in there, just so we've got something to screw to. Right, so the rafters are 4x2s. So a bit of material, 1.5 inches deep. What's that, 38 mil? by 15 would successfully fit behind there. Right, here's a neighbouring property. These rafters are too short, but what I have seen is that this trim or drip, if it's working properly, will allow the gutter to go underneath this stuff. So maybe it's a case that this gutter works properly with this particular roof, but that other gutter that I've just removed is just a completely unsuitable item, a real Saturday morning job that would benefit from some kind of spacer in there. So I think what we might still do is see if we can get hold of some 1.5 inch by 1/2 inch or 38 by 15, just to have in hand in case we need to pack out some of these gutters. Down here at Home Depot, this looks like this is the trash gutter that's already in existence. This plastic stuff. I'm wondering if they have aluminium gutter. That's plastic. What's this? It's aluminium. Only one length of it. We've all been here before, haven't we, guys? What's this? Angles. This is just angle iron stuff. Okay. Come down to the store and you hold on. This looks like the stuff we need. What I'm looking for is some plastic mouldings. So instead of getting 1.5 inch by 1/2 inch timber, which is obviously going to deteriorate over time, I'd have this, I think. Not quite sure how much it is, but we'll figure that out. Well, I think I've got what we need. So we should see 3 10-foot lengths of gutter, loads of brackets, this pack of stuff, an outlet, some joining pieces and some stainless steel screws. Come on. Right. So what I'm thinking of doing is I've got hold of this white plastic stuff, and it's a bit hard to film. What I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of it up underneath this like that, which will mean this drip thing will be hanging down more vertically. If I could have got enough of this, I would have run it horizontally, but there was only one length of it in Home Depot. So what I'm going to do is mark it. Might cut it a little bit short actually, so it's just in case it's visible. I don't know whether it will be. We'll cut a short bit and then test it. Okay, the flowers are in the way a little bit here. There's a piece I've just cut. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to film this. What I want to do is just wedge it up under there, like that. And that will stay put until we fix our gutter bracket. I think they call them gutter hangers here. That will go straight through there. In fact, I might get a tester now. This is all rather new to me. I believe we will be fixing this thing about here somewhere, so that should work nicely in my opinion. We'll soon find out. Full disclosure guys, having a second thoughts about this now. I'm not sure that packing behind the gutter to make it sit nice and square, but at the same time cutting at the same time drilling through this, which is obviously some kind of a drip facility. So I think it's fair to say that this is the prescribed method. Now how you're going to get a fall on a long run is anybody's guess. Now I've cut the length of gutter that I think is going to work. We are going to have a little join, and then the downspout. I'm going to join these parts together and then see if we can get it up onto the end of those rafters. Now when it comes to installing the drop outlet, apparently these two joints, they just butt up to each other, and then you put what they call a seamer, which is a kind of bandage around it. You would think they would make this drop outlet a tiny bit smaller really, so that it could sit inside, or a slightly bit bigger so that it could go around the outside of the main length, but no, it just butts straight up. So this is what they call the seamer. Our main two components just butt up to each other, so we put the seamer on here first, like this, and that's that side. Then the outlet, basically just crimp it all together. Presumably if you're a full-scale gutter guy, you have crimping tools. No. I'll just show you this. So the two surfaces on this side are at different heights. So I don't know whether you just meant to mangle that over. I guess you can just mangle it over like that, and then you're supposed to lash loads of what they call seam sealer in the gap. I don't know. It sounds to me like it's guaranteed at 100% to leak. Anybody who's ever put up guttering knows that you need two people really. If you haven't got somebody to help you, like me most of the time, you've just got to get a bit creative. We come to the other end, so I'll transfer my helper to one of the rafters that end, and then we'll kind of work towards this middle to the downspout. Now this is the right hand end of the gutter. I've slightly distorted this drip thing because I want to get this end as high as possible. I don't know if you can see the bubble there, but we've got a fall going in the right direction. So I think we can fix this. We can fix this in this position. Okay, let's double check. Still running the right direction. Because the rafters are all any old how, so the gutter has a tendency to weave in and out as it makes its way along. It certainly gets a bite. Now, when it comes to the end stop, this is just another piece of aluminium that it kind of just pushes on there, and then you rely on some kind of sealant. Now, apparently ordinary silicone is not recommended. You have to have the expensive stuff, and that will form a watertight seal in your dreams. This is my last hanger, because this is the last joist here, a rafter I should call it. So we're going to tighten that up, make sure the gutter's up as high as we can get it at this end, and then we'll go and fix the other hangers permanently. Now we come to applying the Amerimax, which apparently is going to do a wonderful job on fixing these joints. I think I can give 100% guarantee this is not going to work, but we might as well have a go, I suppose. What else can you do? Right, let's spread it with this spatula type tool I found in the ladies' gardening shed. Well, you know, I suppose if it's raining you're going to get water splashing about anyway, so if the gutter has a small leak, who cares? How does that look, guys? Does that look like a professional job? Did I say this is a DIY job here? We're not professional builders, otherwise we wouldn't be doing such a small job as putting one side of a garage gutter up. There we are. That'll look lovely when it's painted, madam. When it comes to sealing this end, oh boy, don't you love just trying to film yourself doing stuff? When it comes to doing this end here with the Amerimax, it goes without saying, you just squirt it in around the gap. I don't think I can film that for you guys. That one has probably got a chance of staying watertight. I mean, this stuff is some kind of mastic. But as for the edges that are just butting up, I would say very little chance of that being watertight. Now that just leaves the downspout, but you probably wondered what these things are up here. They are sort of leaf guards. Stainless steel by the look of it, so I'm going to see if I can fit those back into position for the lady. These guards are quite nice actually, but they're supposed to push up under those what do they call those things, shingles. It's supposed to just push up under. Not much of an overlap, to be honest. And then you screw it at the front straight through your new gutter. Right, well, I think we're going to call that done. New gutter and replacement leaf guards. Nicely done, sir. Well, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I think we're going to call that done now. We've installed aluminium guttering to the complete side of this habitable accommodation. We changed the downspout to the centre rather than have it at one end, which meant running the whole length of guttering to get a fall on it. So we've split the fall, as it were. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, you'll be able to see what else I get up to in my DIY jobs around the house and around the car too. Thanks again for watching.